Well, right from my childhood, I've always had this particular question which has been haunting me. And the question goes like, what is my dream job? I'm pretty sure that you have also been through the same situation. In order to address that question, we need to address an even bigger question. Something like defining what success is, or a step further to define what greatness is. Because once we know what greatness is, we could always affix our dream job there and work backwards. You search for the definition of success in books like this, or on Google, or on AI, you're never going to get a crystal clear definition for that. So is it actually possible for us to define something like greatness? Is it actually possible to derive an equation for that on a scientific level? If so, that could be applied to people to improve the success rate, especially for education institutions, right? And it's going to have a massive impact. Is it actually possible for us to derive an equation like that? This is what we are going to discuss today. This is Dan Sarist and you are watching The Time Machine. What comes to your mind when you think about great people? Well, great people are those people who have achieved something great, something huge, something big. In order to picturize it, let me take something like this. Let's consider that this plane includes all the students in a classroom, somewhere around 100 students. And let us define the first rank holder here. Rank number 1 is here. Maybe the rank number 2 is over here. Rank number 3 is over here. 4, 5 and onwards. I hope it is clear. First rank holder comes here and everybody else somewhere around here. It shows the huge achievement. So achievement can actually be explained scientifically. So I'm using the word height here. So to address the distance between the average intellect and his intellect. This is the first part of defining success, that any successful person needs to have a huge achievement. Because you take anybody, you take somebody like A.R. Rahman, or somebody like Santana, or somebody like a great leader like Gandhiji, or Nelson Mandela, or you take any sports person, you take a businessman, you take Jeff Bezos, anybody. Everybody's had a huge achievement. And is that enough? Can we define success or greatness like that? It is definitely a part. Now this is where it gets a little tricky here. Let me ask you a counter question. Assume that this month, this being the February of 2025, I win a lottery. Today I win a lottery and I win around $100,000. And let's assume my monthly salary is $1,000. Okay, so my achievement here is $100,000, which makes my height of achievement 100 times, right? This is my monthly salary. This is where it's 100 times. That is a huge achievement, no doubt about it. So according to the current definition of huge achievement, a lottery winner actually should be a great person. Is it actually so? There's something wrong about this definition, right? This is where we move on to the second part of the definition, which is frequency. Just like defining a waveform in physics, every waveform requires an amplitude and a frequency. Just like that, every successful person needs a high amplitude success or very high achievement along with repeatability in his success. Success is equal to huge achievement plus repeatability. 2 factors. It might seem very basic, right? Why do I have to blabber about this and make a video about it? But if you look back, some simple equation like this makes a lot of sense. Because I've always been thinking why newspapers or media always celebrated an achievement or a graduation of a tribal student or something like that. I've always wondered why. But this equation actually gives clarity to that. So if you consider our standard of living here and our attainment of graduation as a height here, this could be the difference in this could be our achievement, small h. Okay, and let's take the standard of living of a tribal student. It could be here. His delta, which he has achieved, is much higher. The delta is higher. This is just a small delta here, right? He has worked so hard and achieved so much from here to here. We should be taking something like a PhD here to attain the same delta, which makes a lot of sense now. This should be celebrated. Let's take another example. Somebody from the middle class leading an above average life would show a small delta here. A physically handicapped person going to the same normal life would show a huge delta. So this is the difference that we are talking about. This talks a lot of sense to our mind. Well, this could explain why an actor's son, being an actor is not a great thing initially, but when he is consistently giving hits, that is a great thing. This is exactly what Prithviraj was talking about in one of his interviews. Well, the first example of the physically handicapped person signified the importance of high achievement, and the second example of Prithviraj signified the importance of repeatability of success. Now combining them, we have a pretty basic equation of success. Now we can revisit the example of lottery winning. So we know that he already satisfied the first parameter, which is the height of achievement, because he has already achieved 100 times his wealth. But what is missing here is repeatability. If there was some way or the other for him to repeat the success of 100 times or greater on a yearly basis, he could be categorized as successful or great person or great lottery winner, right? Is it actually possible? Well, it is actually possible if the lottery system is somewhat based on numbers. For an example, we used to play lottos, or which we had in newspapers, which used to be called as tambolas. So those were based on a series of numbers, and there's probably 6 numbers, out of which this many numbers had to be in series, or this many numbers had to be matched with the numbers that they gave. So this actually can be cracked using statistics, which was actually done by an American retired professor, math professor. He actually did it, and he made a returns of 30% on every transaction he made. He actually put $5,000 and $10,000, and he actually made 30% returns on that, on every lottery. So that was made into a movie, and I'll show the name of the movie in this video. This is exactly what I'm talking about. A simple definition of just 2 factors actually makes a lot of sense. But is that enough? That is what we are going to discuss in the future videos. Stay tuned, this is going to be very interesting. This is Dan Saraj, and you're watching your favorite